It was a day to celebrate incredible athletic achievement, but the 2013 Boston Marathon quickly turned into a horrific nightmare as 2 bombs went off, killing 3 and injuring hundreds. Rebekah Gregory was not far from that first bomb, and her injuries were life-threatening. She joins me now to tell her story. Rebekah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
You were there to cheer on your boyfriend at the time, his mother, and you were on the sidelines. Tell me about that day.
Well, everyone always thinks I was running that day, so that's the common misconception. I was eating chocolate-covered pretzels, wondering why anyone runs 26.2 miles. But it was incredible, and I had never been to a marathon like that before, where people trained so hard, and we had gone to the 17-mile marker, and we had these homemade signs, and my 5-year-old son was with me that day, and so I remember him holding up his sign and being so excited, and we were tracking our runner on our phone. And one of the people in our group of about 9 decided, hey, we needed to make our way closer to the finish line so we could actually see our friend cross. And so we went down to the finish. We were right there in the middle of the action. And Noah, my son, began to get very, very bored because there's only so many runners he can watch pass at 5 years old.
Yes.
And so I told him, I said, Noah, why don't you sit down on my feet and play in the rocks like you're a scientist? And his back was against my shins, and that's exactly where he was when a bomb in a backpack went off 3 feet behind us.
3 feet, so you were close to the epicenter of everything.
We were, yes.
I know that you were so stunned, obviously. When you came to, tell me what you saw or what you were thinking.
I remember everything that day because we never lost consciousness. So we were blown forward and my body was pinned to the ground. My bones were laying next to me on the sidewalk. I couldn't see my legs because I was in a pool of my own blood. There were nails and BBs and ball bearings, and everything that these 2 brothers packed into these pressure cooker bombs went within everyone's bodies. And I just remember laying back and saying, God, if this is it for me, take me, but let me know that my little boy is okay, because I was convinced I would die on the street that day.
You were dealing with extreme blood loss, incredible trauma, and you did think you were dying, and I can think every mom watching this, every parent watching this could imagine that moment, like, where's my son?
Yes. That's all I wanted to know. I didn't care what happened to me. I just wanted him to be all right. And I actually saw him out of my peripheral vision, and I could see that he was injured. He had a cut to his bone on his right leg, but nowhere to the extent that I was. And so it was amazing, though, because I feel like God revealed himself even then in that chaos and that terror. He eased my mind because I knew that Noah was going to make it out of there.
Your legs, which took the brunt of everything, were actually the thing that saved your son's life.
I still can't believe it, and I would go back and do it again in a heartbeat if that meant saving my little boy, but there were angels all around us, and God has a bigger plan for both of our lives, because had Noah been standing up like he was supposed to be, he would have died just within the impact of the bomb.
Wow. So you think that you're probably going to die, but help comes to you, and all these people are heroically trying to save your life. When did you know, okay, I think I might survive this? How long did that take?
I'm not even sure if I knew that with the whole scene, and I just remember so many people stepping in to help us, not knowing if a 3rd bomb or a 4th bomb or a 5th was going to go off, and those were the heroes that day, people that were just, there, and they, even with all of the evil surrounding us, there were still God's Samaritans and angels everywhere else. And so I remember being loaded onto an ambulance and someone screaming, "We have an amputee," and I knew if I did make it, that life as I knew it was completely over.
And that reality of the amputee didn't happen right away. You were having surgeries every 2 days.
I was, yeah. Every other day I was in and out of surgery with just all of the shrapnel and the metal in our bodies. It caused so much damage, and so my left hand was extremely damaged. I almost lost it. My right leg and my left leg far more severe. And so I spent 56 days initially in the hospital with surgeries, and then a year and a half of more surgery with them trying to save my left leg.
That's an incredible effort that they just would not give up on your leg. And how did you finally make the decision, you know what? This isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do something more extreme.
To me, I thought it was like a bad boyfriend and I needed to get it out of my life right away. And that's what I kind of joked. And I even wrote it a breakup letter and I gave it a farewell going away dinner party. And from the beginning, I knew that my leg wasn't my leg anymore. And I was just thankful to be alive. And the first words that I actually wrote, because I couldn't talk, I was in a medically induced coma. And when I came out of it, I had tubes down my throat and my mom was there. And she gave me a piece of paper and I wrote with my right hand, "God has not finished with me yet. There were angels all around us. And so to me, my leg didn't matter. My little boy was okay, I was okay, and our lives were spared for a bigger purpose.
And you were not just dealing with the physical trauma, but the mental and emotional trauma. You realized once you came out of all the medication,
Yes.
post-traumatic stress disorder started bubbling up. Tell me about that.
It's such a real thing because of everything that we saw and experienced, and the emotional part sometimes far outweighs the physical part. It's, you know, leaving my house, it's big crowds, unattended bags at the airport, loud noises. There are many days where I get up and I have to give myself a pep talk to say, okay, Rebekah, no one's going to try to kill you today. You need to go ahead and go to the grocery store, run your errands. And that's just the life that I've come to know after terrorism became a part of it.
And you look at you now and you're beautiful and you can't see the scars that happened to you on the inside. We need to make sure that people keep praying for you because your journey of healing is still happening. We're going to keep telling your story in just a moment. When we come back, Rebekah is asked to face the bomber in court. Stay with us.